Good evening, everybody. It's Chris here with your Saturday night thingy. I'm glad you're here with me. I'm glad to be with you. Um, I'm coming to you, obviously, from the studios of Fusion Tonight. Fusion is our weekly worship talk show hosted by John Cooper, and it's traditionally been the big finish to our crazy, fun, busy Wednesday nights. But we had to end it. We had to end it when the pandemic shutdown hit last spring. Last March, we took our week off for spring break, and we haven't been able to come back because that's when the shutdown hit. Um, until now. Until now. So we've reformatted the show just a little bit to make it more compact, and we hope also to broaden out the appeal a little bit. And we started shooting. I whistled when I said that. Shooting. We started shooting a new season this week. Initially, it's going to be online only, and it should run like 20, 25 minutes instead of our usual 45. But I'm excited about it, and I hope you are too, because the cool thing about Fusion is that it's about encouraging you and inspiring you to be Christ for one another. So I think we're going to hear some great stories about how ministry keeps getting done, even in a time like the one that we're living in. So anyway, watch for it on Wednesday nights. It'll be on Facebook and it'll be on our YouTube channel. You can watch it on Wednesdays. You can watch it on Thursdays. You can watch it whenever you want, because once it's posted, it's out there forever. So I hope you do. And remember, watching Fusion counts as going to church. So anyway, that's not what I came here to talk to you about, though. Let me tell you this little story. Earlier this summer, I was riding my bike on the Cedar Valley Nature Trail. I was getting down there close to the new bridge over Wolf Creek at LaPorte City, and it's a brand new bridge, right? The old one was going to fall down, and so they closed it years ago. And people who've been using the trail for the last few years, we've had to do detours around that closed bridge. But they built a new bridge this year, and earlier in the summer, on this particular day I'm talking about, the new bridge was in place, the guardrails were up, it was almost done. They still had some work to do on the approaches, like getting up onto the bridge from either direction. They still need to do some fill work and some paving. But the cyclists and the walkers, the people using the trail, if the construction workers weren't there, they were going ahead and using the bridge anyway. We're just going around the signs that said bridge out or trail closed, because the bridge is here and it's perfect. So I was approaching the bridge on this day, and there was a couple a few years older than me probably, coming the other direction, coming from the bridge. And so as they were coming at me, I said, "Hey, did you ride the bridge?" And the guy smiled and he gave me a thumbs up. But the woman of the couple, her face got all sour looking, and she kind of barked at me. She said, "Yes, but you have to walk your bike across." And her tone was so sharp and so severe. I haven't been talked to that way since I was in fourth grade, I don't think. I probably deserved it back then, but the way she said it to me, it was not a friendly suggestion. "Yes, but you have to walk your bike across." She said it like she was scolding me for something that I'd done wrong before I'd even done it. And I wondered, who does she think she is? Who does she think I am? I'm not a 10-year-old delinquent. I'm a 53-year-old guy who can make my own decisions about how to get across a bridge. And so I thought some uncharitable things about her. I didn't say them out loud, but I thought them, and kept riding my bike toward the bridge. But that incident got me thinking about the concept of authority. Why did she assume the authority to tell me how to cross the bridge? And why was I reluctant to accept that authority? Right? Who or what do I recognize as having authority over me? Who do I have to obey? You know, authority is exerted over us all the time, and in many cases, we just accept it. We accept it as legitimate, as necessary, right? It helps keep order in our communities. Things like a property tax deadline, right? That's a piece of someone's authority over us. Traffic laws are a piece of authority that we generally submit to without a lot of problem. Going into a business on the Parkade downtown Cedar Falls, and you see the owner has put a sign on the door that says, "Please pull your mask up before you come in." Right? I mean, that's the owner using their authority to protect themselves and their employees and the other folks in the store. And we generally don't have a problem with those kinds of authority. But sometimes we do, right? Sometimes we're resentful. Sometimes we're resistant to authority. And that's themes like that come out in political movements. They come out in art. They come out in poetry. They come out in song. Bruce Springsteen has about 100 songs about the working class struggling against the authority of the big evil companies. Right? John Mellencamp sings, "When I fight authority, authority always wins." Bob Dylan sings, "You got to serve somebody. It might be the devil, it might be the Lord, but you got to serve somebody." Right? That's about submitting to someone else's authority. In our own hymnals, we've got "Have Thine Own Way, Lord," and it's just one hymn about surrendering to the authority of God. There are others. There are quite a few others. If I were to put this question to the people, if I were to put this question to you, whose authority do you submit to? Whose authority do you recognize? Who do you obey? If we just throw that question out there, we'll get all kinds of answers. Some might say, "I submit to the authority of the Scriptures." Okay? We might have to then probe further and ask them which ones, because the Bible is kind of a big collection of stuff. Some might say, "I submit to the authority of the Gospels," which might be a little bit more focused, right? Because now we're talking about the life and the teachings of Jesus. And so that's a good answer for a Christian person to give when we're talking about authority. Some people might mention the authority of a different faith, a faith other than ours. And some people won't mention anything religious at all. Instead, maybe they'll talk about the government. Maybe they'll talk about their own sense or their own code of morality. Some people might claim to have some kind of fierce independence and that they're their own authority, right? Don't tread on me. I can claim to have a little bit of that because I sure don't like being told what to do by pretty much anybody. But what if we ask the Bible? What does the Bible have to say about submitting to authority? Romans chapter 13 says, "Let every person be subject to the governing authorities." Dig a little more, you find Acts 5. Peter and the apostles answered, "We must obey God rather than men." Yeah, that's a different spin. Then in Matthew 28, Jesus himself says, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me." There's yet another spin on the authority question. In Hebrews, it says, "Obey your leaders and submit to them." In 2 John, it says, "Everyone who goes ahead and does not abide in the teaching of Christ does not have God." In 1 Peter, it says, "Servants, be subject to your masters with all respect." And that's just like six passages. Go ahead and do the Google search yourself. Search for Bible verses on authority and see how many you get. And you can then spend like the next 6 weeks studying the theme of authority in the Bible. And maybe it would be an interesting study. But that's my question to you. That's my question to you. Who has authority over you? And who do you feel like you have to obey? Who do you feel obliged to obey as you go through the process of running your life? I'm not here to give you a right answer or a wrong answer. I'm just putting the question out there. I do hope that you think about the answer. As you dig into the answer, um, I hope that you do find room for God in your answer. I hope you do find a place, a prominent place for Jesus in your answer, you know, who has authority over your life. And now, I know you're dying to know, did I walk my bike across the bridge? You know, I don't know why she talked to me in the tone of voice that she did. I really don't. But I do know this, that once she did, there was no way that I was going to walk my bike across that bridge. I would swim through the creek before I would walk my bike across the bridge. And when I got to the bridge, there was just about 30 yards of dirt and gravel. It was a piece of cake. It was no problem at all. So I still don't know why she told me I had to walk my bike across the bridge. I proudly rode my bike across the bridge. And that's pretty much the end of that incident. And that's kind of my thingy for tonight. Who has authority over your life? So I will see you in the live stream tomorrow morning, or maybe I'll see you here live in person. You know, it was kind of cool to see so many of you last Sunday when we had worship outside on the lawn. It was fun. You know, I'm trying to put together a crew of folks who can help with production on Sunday mornings. We've got some fun equipment to work with, and it's more than that though. It's really rewarding to know that on the production team we are helping others to get to the First UMC message, and not just get the message, but to stay connected with the church. In these weird times when it's hard to stay connected to the people and the institutions and the organizations that we love, the production team is helping to do that. And so this is a real ministry. And I would say you don't have to know anything. You don't have to be a techie person to get started. All you really need is to be curious about this. Right? I can teach you what you need to know. And I'll keep working with you until you get good at it, right? Because that's kind of our goal, is to be good at this. You know, I'm going to be gone for a Sunday or two as we go into fall. In fact, one in just a couple weeks. And if you all want church that week, I'm going to need someone to raise their hand and say, hey, I'll do it. I'll help. And I'd love to have you. I'll take men, I'll take women, I'll take adults, and youth over 14 years old are great candidates for serving on the production team. And if it sounds like it's a cool way for you to be involved in worship and to help other people to worship, just blast me an email, and I'll give you some more info. I'll tell you what the expectations are, what we're trying to accomplish, and we'll take it from there. But hey, please consider that. Until tomorrow morning, though, it's been fun talking with you tonight. I hope you have a great Saturday night.